Hi, grade 3 readers. So in today's student-facing video, we are in Animal Behaviors Lesson 1, and we are focusing on what behaviors helps animals survive. So we're going to launch the new module, Animal Behaviors, and our focus question is, what behaviors helps animals survive? So our lesson objective is to share information and ideas about a topic. And warm up, we're going to introduce the topic, and we're going to focus on the knowledge focus. So welcome to our new module, Animal Behaviors. In this module, we will read and view selections that will help us understand what animals do to survive. The word for survive means to stay alive. So what do you know about what animals do to survive in the wild? So I really want you to think about that. Think about everything you already know in your own prior knowledge. Think about animals that maybe you might already be an expert on and their behaviors or the ways they act to survive, okay, to stay alive. Because animals don't live, always in a perfect spot where they can just have food already made for them. They have to survive, sometimes facing harsh weather or harsh predators, right? So really think about the animals you know about already. So let's share what we know. We can use this quote as we discuss our ideas. We each survive in our own way. So what do you think that means? Pause this video and jot down your thoughts. So what I think that means is that we are all different and we all survive and have different needs. So I see penguins here, and I know that a penguin might have different needs and different survival behaviors than a snake or a lion or a monkey. They all have, and they all live in different places, so therefore they are facing different environments and other different predators. So these words will help us talk and write about the text in this module. Let's discuss these words. So hatch is a verb, it's an action word. And hatch means an animal will hatch from an egg when it breaks out of a shell by itself. We were amazed when we saw the turtle hatch from its egg. So that's usually during a life cycle, and hatching means it happens on its own. Universal is an adjective, and that describes things. When something is universal, it applies to everyone. For example, 2 plus 2 is 4. That is everywhere around the world, right? All living things have a universal need for water. Everybody needs water to survive, no matter where you live or who you are. Span is a noun, it's a thing. A span is a period of time between two events or dates, usually marking something important. Bulldogs have a lifespan of about 8 to 10 years. Growth. Growth happens when someone or something gets older and or bigger. The scientists measured the growth of the baby turtle. Let's use this chart as we share our knowledge about animal survival behavior. So survival behaviors. We have offspring, that's basically the children of animals. Hunting, that's when either animals go out to hunt and they're looking for food. Transformation, that's change. And senses, smell, sight, taste, touching, feeling. We use those to help us find food. We use that to help us look out for danger. So let's think about these behaviors and how they connect to all the animals we read about throughout the module. So let's do a quick check for understanding. What are some behaviors that help animals survive? Pause and then come back to this when you're done. So our lesson objective is to recognize and explain text and graphic features. We're going to do a quick shared reading and read the informational text Frozen Alive together. And we're going to go over some text and graphic features that you might come across throughout the module. Then you're going to do some independent reading and read some informational text and also see if you come across some text and graphic features. So text and graphic features really help and support and present important parts of the text in a different way. So we're going to use this chart to remind us that an article gives us information. Authors add text and graphic features to teach us information about a topic, and we will use text and graphic features to learn more about animal survival behavior. So we have bold or italic type words that can show emphasis or make a title stand out. Headings or subheadings show what each section is about. Sidebars or boxed information that adds more information to the text. Captions tell more about a picture. Bullets or numbered lists show main points or examples. Graphic features are like visuals, like timelines, illustrations, pictures, graphs, maps, and tables, and they help explain the ideas in a text in a visual way. Let's take a look at the passage Frozen Alive, and we're going to look at the text features here and see how they stand out to us. And then you're going to notice some text features on your own when you read. So I already noticed some text features here. So let's see what happens. Frozen alive. Many animals in North America live in cold regions with harsh winters. There's no universal way to survive the cold. So the first thing I already noticed that stands out to me are the yellow words here. So if these words are in yellow, that means the author thinks they are important, and these are content area words that are important to understanding, okay, the passage. Remember, we know that universal means for everyone. That means there's no regular way for everyone to survive in the cold. Some animals have warm fur, others burrow into the ground to hibernate. However, nature gave the wood frog a different and stranger survival plan. In its survival strategy, biologist Sonia Alla describes it straight out of a science fiction movie. Alla had studied wood frogs for 5 years. She says in many ways these frogs are like other species or kinds of frogs. In spring, they start their lifespan as eggs. So I already know a span is a time period between two important events. The eggs soon hatch into tadpoles. The tadpoles live in water and breathe through gills like fish. So I notice numbers here. I see 3, 4. So it almost looks like a diagram going from one thing to the other. The tadpole's growth looks like the life cycle, right? The life cycle of the tadpole. So it's showing us more information about that. And these are captions showing that happening. So if I go to the next page, it shows us number 1. 1, the frog starts as an egg. 2, the egg hatches into a tadpole. So these text and graphic features are adding more to what the text is saying. So as it's going through the life cycle of a frog, or it's going through the life cycle of the wood frog, these pictures and these graphic and text features here and these visual aids are going to help you understand a little more about it. So as you continue reading on, I really want you to notice and focus which text and graphic features help support which parts of the text. So you have to do like some book walks and some picture walks and some text feature walks to see what you notice and wonder first. So I noticed the order first. The frog starts as an egg. The egg hatches into a tadpole. The tadpole, it's like sequencing. The tadpole forms legs and loses its tail. It is now an adult frog. When the cold temperature comes, the frog burrows under the leaves. The frog freezes solid. So that's interesting. So I want to know what part of the text talks about the frog being frozen because I would like to learn more about that, right? Then 6, in the warmer weather, the frog thaws out, like he melts a little bit. So I want to know what happens, what part of the text supports this and tells more about this, about the frog freezing solid. So it says here, the frog can stay frozen for weeks or months. Interesting. So this is what I really need you to focus on as you're reading throughout this module, which text and graphic features support or add more to which parts of the text, okay? And especially as you do your independent reading. So what did we see? Okay, we saw pictures, okay? We saw captions, we saw highlighted words that really, explained which important content area words were supporting the text, okay? And then we also saw some graphic features, which were real photographs and almost like not really a timeline, but something sequencing a lifespan of a frog or the life cycle of a frog, which were showing important events in order. So as you're doing your independent reading, think about the topic you're learning about and what information you're learning from the text and graphic features.